Hello again, class. Good morning. Um, Sorry for a while. This is part two of volleyball lesson. Now we will be talking about the basic skills. Again, I did not prepare a PowerPoint presentation since I don't need to tackle this everything about volleyball in our class since skills man na to ang gina-require, meaning sa klase while gadula ta mag-discussion ta. Siyempre, if pakita na to ang serving, i-discuss na to. Why serving? Unsa ang serving, mga ingana? Pero, at least, before ta mag-quiz, masabtan ninyo ang ato ang topics. Okay? So, serving. The serving is the first weapon that can generate an immediate point, begin a game, that's number one, or ignite an offense. A well-played serve that is also difficult to pass puts the opponent team at a disadvantage. Meaning daw, kung nice daw ang imuhang pagka-serve, the opponent team will be at a great disadvantage. So the serve is the only skill in volleyball where the player has complete control. Meaning, mapakusgan niya, mapahinayan, or mapaspin niya. There are types of serve. First is the underhand serve, which is common for beginners. So again, dili necessary nga if underhand serve ka, beginner ka. Okay? Pero that is the common skill na ginagamit sa mga beginners. Next is overhand top spin, which is common serve for competitive volleyball. Overhand top spin. A. Naputay overhand float serves for competitive volleyball. Pugsh! Murara mo gatulod pero float kay ang bula. Mag-ana-ana na sa babaw sa net. No, so I am so excited when the time comes na magduwa na kita ninyo. Kaya mo appeal man ko syempre. The underhand serve is usually the first type of serve taught to a beginning player. No, the serve is a volleyball serve in which the ball is given in a slight underhand toss from about the waist height and then struck with a closed fist by the opposite hand. Pero dili pasabot no nga sayon ning underhand serve. Kay uban di kabalog balance, uban dili kabalo magpa-straight, ug uban walay control. The overhand serve is done by tossing the ball up in the air. Toss ha, dili pwede nga anaon lang. Kay sa float serve na siya. It's done by tossing the ball up into the air, then strike it with the opposite hand above the shoulder. It is used by the majority of leading players because it can be placed accurately and if delivered correctly, will float or wobble, meaning mulihok-lihok, putting the opponent on the defensive because he will have to make a quick adjustment to receive the ball. So before, as a libero, which my first role is to receive the first ball, maglisod ko og receive sa una, labi nag-float ang bola. Labi nag-tense kay ko, no? Tense kay ko mo receive. Pero di giningon nga maayo ko, kabalo lang gamay. Float serve. The float serve is done by contacting the ball in such a way that the ball doesn't spin, which makes it more likely to float. Lisod ni dakponing float, labi nag-beginner ta. A floater is much tougher to pass because the flight of the ball is much less predictable. The volleyball floating action is similar to a knuckleball pitch in baseball. We also have the jump serve. A jump serve is a serve in which the server tosses the ball, takes an approach, and jumps to spike the ball. So, mura ra gyapon mo og spike og bola. Okay? Because of the importance of timing, the toss and jump, the jump serve can be very difficult to learn. No, aside sa lisod siya i-learn, napoy uban nga maglisod og receive sa jump serve. Eh syempre pinabagdok siya. Napod tay roundhouse serve, which is also known as windmill, hook, or smash serve. The roundhouse is rarely used because it's so difficult to serve inconsistently. For this serve, the server faces the sideline, being perpendicular to the end line. The ball is tossed straight up in front of the body with both hands so that it will be directly over the serving shoulder. The serving team is brought from against the side straight out and over the head with the elbow kept straight at all times. Sa akong pagsabot, mura mo mag-side view ani. Dahil mo ana mo serve inaana. Sige lang, we will be trying all these types of serves. So nanamoy upat ka serve nga inyo i-perform sa kuha, okay? The ball is okay. Contact is made with the ball at a point directly over the shoulder and with the heel for the open hand. The ball is hit so it will slightly rise up and go over the net with a lot of top spin. Maunang sa lagi sakto lagi mag side view ta then tirahan nato pakilid. Kay para magtuyok ang bola. And ang tendency ra ba sa bola if magtuyok siya padulong sa net kaya usually ang normal nga bola kay mo ana ra baya. If magtuyok-tuyok na imong bola, lisod-lisod na siya kuhaon. Tinay possibility mo ana na siya galit. Okay? Next, we have the pass. First is the forearm pass. The forearm pass is a method of bouncing the ball from both forearms. Forearm passing. Kung na niya, mag-receive na ni ani. Is the key to the beginning of any teams of first contact and assist in reducing the speed of the ball when passing to the setter. Meaning, kamo ang tag-control sa bola, kamo ang mag-receive. First ball, pack. Okay, ihatag na ninyo sa setter. Preparation of ball contact is critical to the success of the forearm pass. The forearm pass is the first basic volleyball skill you should learn. This skill is also referred to as used to receive serves, receive spikes, play and ball, play any ball rather, and waist height or lower, and play any ball that has gone into the net. So, i-receive siya. Naapod tayo overhead pass, front and back. The overhead pass is generally employed to redirect the ball with the most accuracy offered by any skill in volleyball. It is most frequently used by a setter as a team's second contact. The setter places a ball above waist level so an attacker can effectively hit the ball into the opponent's court. Pwede po ninyo gamiton ang overhead pass sa pag-receive. Okay? Labi nagmaalanganin mo, usually po naapod tayo ing ani nga receive. I don't know what this is called but sometimes kana mataranta ta maka-receive tag ing ani. No? Overhead passing, no matter where the overhead pass is placed, the movement prior to contact should be identical. Wait. Should be identical so opposing players cannot anticipate the intended direction of the pass. The subtle change that occurs when executing the back overhead pass is a thrusting forward of the hips when ball contact is made. As a result, the body to ball relationship is altered enough to place the ball's trajectory backward. The quicker the hip shift, the farther the ball will be sent backward. The subtle change, sorry for that. Next, we have the dig. The dig, sorry, nagbasa ko email. The dig is a method of receiving a hard spike, usually with forearms. A dig can be made with one or both forearms. Pwede ra isa, pwede duha. Depende kung unsa inyong gamiton if maalanganin na mo. Next is the spike. Spike is a method of smashing the ball into the opponent's court, and there is no other athletic skill in any sport quite like it. Why? Because the player must hit the ball as hard as he can while in mid-air. Meaning, galutaw ka mo mga langga. Mga manananggal. He can't push on the floor for power as in throwing. This means he must use his body in special way against itself. So, mangusog man mo mid-air. Okay. This means he must use his body in a special way against itself, and the player uses his body against itself both by bending and twisting in mid-air. So his lower body, especially his hips, makes the base against which he does this. The position of the player's hips is most important in developing power in midair. So be careful po taning spiking no kay natay tendency ni nga matakil po pag landing, arang kasakit. So as much as possible hinahinay gid ato pag learn ani nga skill. The spike constitutes one of the most difficult acts to coordinate found in any sport. The player must be able to run, jump high, time a moving ball, hit it solidly, and at the same time, try to place it in a certain spot. So it takes a lot of years of practice in order to perfect that. No? It is a spectacular skill to observe and even more spectacular to perform. And there are three methods of attack in volleyball, each of which can be very effective. The first of the three methods to learn is the tip. It is often looked upon as a defensive maneuver to perform when the conditions are not right for a more powerful attack. However, the tip is also an effective technique since it disrupts the timing patterns of the defensive teams. So kawat-kawat, tip lang. A, tuklod-tuklod lang. Next is the off-speed spike, which is the second option for an attacker. As indicated by its name, less than maximum force is imparted at contact. Like a tip, it is used to disrupt the timing patterns of defensive team. So, inyohang i-alter ang inyohang speed sa pag-spike kay para maglisod o kuha sa pattern, sa timing ang kalaban. The off-speed spike is similar in effect to the tip, but but you will hit deeper into the opponent's court. When the off-speed spike is executed, placement rather than power is emphasized. No, so inyuhang mangita mo og lugar, mangita mo og blind spot sa court, kay kani kung maayo nagi kay mga spiker no, makapangita mo og spot nga lisod daganon sa kalaban, no? Usually na ani sa front kay ready ang uban og receive sa luyo kung dili naa sa pinakaluyo nga part dool sa linya. A third attack method is the hard-driven spike, the most exciting play in volleyball. It is also one of the most difficult of all sport skills to learn. Sport skills to learn. To make a successful spike, no, kung gusto mo maka-successful og spike, you must jump into the air and sharply hit a moving object, or known as the ball, over an obstacle, which is the net, so that it lands within a bounded area or known as the court of the opponent. Due to the many variables associated with spiking, its timing is difficult and its success requires hours of practice. So if dili gani mo anad og training og spiking, lahi pa gid inyong setter nga naandan, dili gid mo makakuha og sakto nga spike. No, it takes a lot of practice. The attacking team should have many options. When your opponents have mastered the timing of your power attack, the tip can catch them off guard. No, if naanad na inyong kalaban gani nga magsigig receive sa inyong spike, you should know how to strategize. Dapat kabalo mo og adjust sa inyong hinapakan, kabalo mo og adjust sa inyong approach. No, daghan man ta ginatawag natay quick. Kaning quick, usually mga middle ni. Kadjut ra kani nga set, pak, spike. Ana, naapod tay open hitters dito ni siya sa open kanang naa siya pina-delay na poy magdungan ang tulo ka spiker nga nasa tuobangan dayon dili matag-an sa mga blocker kung kinsa ang muhapak. So a good setter as well is kanang one of the greatest foundation in volleyball for me, no? Kay syempre if dili kabalo inyong setter, dili gyud tarong inyong gameplay. So this is how you execute the tip. So a tip or dink is a soft fingertip push from a spike approach. Pap, tuk. It is intended to surprise a defense that expects a hard-driven spike. No? Mora na siya sa kinabuhi nga if di mo mag-expect na moabot na siya, maglisod gid mo og adjust, right? The tip is the easiest shot in volleyball. The approach for the tip is as follows. At the peak of attacker's jump, she or he reaches as high as possible and touches the ball with all 5 fingers. Tuk, pinatulod. Pero careful ha, kinay use usahay matawag na siya as touching. He pushes the softly using his entire arm. His wrist and elbow move very little. Ang sa hard-driven spike naman, syempre normal na to ang spike. Sunod is the block. Wait for a while ha, kinay nag-email. A block is a method of driving an attack ball back into the opponent's court by blocking it. If naay mag-spike, dapat ma-block siya. Pero careful mo ani, kay naatay ginatawag nga lisuda ni explain aning wala ta sa court. Sige lang, sa court na lang nato i-explain ha ang mga kuan sa block, ang mga technicalities about the block. So the purpose of a block is to kanabitong to maharangan ninyo ang spiker from the offensive team. No, kung nag-set sila, nag-spike sila, ma-block ninyo back into their court na maglisod sila og kuha. Okay? Execution of double and triple blocks is similar to the execution of a single block. The main difference is that 2 or 3 players join together to block. Now, when the middle blocker is blocking and the opponent's set is high enough, both outside players move to join in the middle player, forming a triple block. Guy, dagan ko pinaakan. Okay, so that is for the basic skills. So naana tay serving, naatay receiving, naatay setting. Wala pa nato na story ang setting di ay. Murag wala pa. Wala pa tay setting, but yeah, including ang setting and spiking. Sa setting, pwede mo mag-set using forearm pass. Pero you need a lot of accuracy to do so. Next is, we are not going to talk about the interruption, delays, and intervals. Now for libero. Kamong tanan makasuway mahimong libero. Okay? So kada training na to, ang mahitabo, training to for 1 hour and dula ta for another hour. Okay? So if mahuman ang dula, change court, then lahi-lahi na pod og role para mabalaan ninyong tanan unsay mga technicalities sa uban players. Okay, ang kaning libero class, di na kinako ni discuss na. Ang libero gyud is dili sila pwede mo adto sa atubangan, labi na uban sa rotation. Ang libero dili pwede mo spike, dili pwede mo ambak rather. Dili pod sila pwede nga mag-serve. Okay, they are only allowed to receive a ball or set a ball. Pwede na siya. Okay? Kaning libero dapat lahi ang ilahang color sa sinina, dapat in contrast sa ilahang mga kauban. Okay? Sunod is participants' conduct. I guess we don't need to talk about it anymore. Syempre, participants must know the official volleyball rules and abide by them. Fair play, misconduct, and sanctions, di magsigpamalikas, di mangluwa sa court. And if ever gani nga maka-offend, makuha ninyo ang yellow card, meaning ihatagaan mo sa referee. Okay? Naapod tayo expulsion if sobra na and uban pa. So, wala pa kay ko kasuway na tagaan og ani kay usually mga buotan mo gumi manggidula. Sunod, referees. Kani pong referees, I guess we are no longer going to talk about this because dili man mo mga pang-referee. Pero when we are going to play, every one of you will be a referee. So ato lang hibalon ang mga common nga trabaho sa mga referee, like to call an in or an out ball, to call a touching, or to call kanang to call mga faults para makahatag-tag point. Mangingana lang magkuha og bola, tig saka og mga flag if out ang bola or in ang bola. Mangingana lang. And I guess that would be all, no? So I have already posted a recorded video of volleyball lessons. Hala, wala man di ko na-attach. Bumbilya. Wala ko na-attach. But yeah, I will be attaching videos here. So hulat-hulat lang ta ha. Thank you so much for listening. And again, naat sa classroom ang ato ang ano, pwede ninyo ni i-print. And if gusto mo magpa-photocopy, magbilin ko sa ato ang copy center or sa tuang president og copy para ma-photocopy ninyo ha. Okay? And next week we will be having a face-to-face, meaning mag-quiz ta next week. Please bring a ball. I hope magdala og bola next week. Mag-chat lang ko sa mga specifics about it. Okay? Thank you so much, class. And quiz. Dili na lang sa amo magdalag bola next week. Ano na lang sa focus sa tag-quiz next week. Okay, mag-focus tag-quiz. Tapos, sa paman. Mora man siguro, quiz na and after, mag-start na din ta sa tuang training. Okay? Okay, bye class!